ring light that's in front of me. Okay, of course, LinkedIn is giving me issues. No problem. Yeah, remove. Save changes. Let's go. All right. All right, you guys, we are live. I can't believe we've gotten to this point. I've been talking about this survey for like, I feel like my life. As you guys are coming in, I'm starting to see the numbers go up. Definitely just like chime in the comments. I have the comments open here. Let us know if you can hear us, if you can see us. Let us know where you're chiming in from. Actually, I'm really interested in where folks are listening to tonight. We're a little bit earlier this tonight as we have been on the other ones, but I'm excited because at the end of this conversation, I'm actually going to be going into our back end. I have not gone in there in a couple hours today, even though I've been obsessed. I'm going to go into the back end and let everybody in the tribe know live if we made our 5,000 and what our numbers actually look like. So our survey closes in 1 hour. It's literally 7:01 p.m. right now, Eastern Standard Time. Sentia says, I hear and see you from NYC. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. It closes in an hour. So first and foremost, if you have not taken it, I need y'all to like leave us or put us on another tab for the next 15 minutes and go in and make sure that you take the survey. But yeah, towards the tail end of this conversation, I'm actually going to go into the back end minutes before we shut it down and let you guys know what the numbers look like. I just want to say that y'all are super dope. And while I was preparing for this with our lovely guest that you see that I'll introduce in a second, I found something that I wanted to share with you guys. This was a group photo at one of our past NOMADNESS Tribe barbecues. This was the one that was in the barn, about an hour and a half drive from ATL. To this day, it was still like my favorite barbecue venue. And I don't know if you guys can tell here because of the ring light, but everybody signed it. Oh, and nice. I remember like at the end of that barbecue in particular, I was like, yo, this is so dope. And I don't know who came up with the idea of it being signed, but it's such a sentimental thing. And I'm so glad that I found it. And it's fitting going into the conversation that we're having tonight. You guys have been on it. More than 4,000 of you have already filled out our NOMADNESS Diversity and Travel survey. We appreciate you. Like I said, nobody cares about filling out surveys unless something's gone wrong. Like they're like, oh, I got something to say, you know? And so I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys taking the time, let alone a survey that takes 15 minutes. It's robust. We're trying to bring something that the industry needs so much to the table. And we're excited and happy that you all lended your voices to it. So one of the things that came out within the first 24 hours of us doing the survey was how many people, one of the questions is, are you a NOMADNESS Travel Tribe member in the survey? And so we actually have the capability now to look at answers from the overall movement, as well as like our actual community, which is really important to us. And so I got some of like my favorite folks on here that are with us tonight. So I just want to like shout everybody out. So we have Janice Johns, who looks like she's in the Caribbean somewhere. I was like, where are you? She's like, I'm at home. Where is home? What city are you in?
Palm Springs, California.
Okay, yes. So you're on the West Coast, living your best life. Actually, all seriousness, how is everything going? Because I know the fires have been like ripping and running through California.
So the closest one is about an hour away. So
okay.
It's not bad. It gets a little overcast here and there, but other than that, it's good.
Okay. All right. Checking in on our Cali people, because we definitely have some folks that have been affected by it for sure. And then we have Carly with the buzz cut, came up in here, surprised the hell out of me. I haven't seen her. But like FYI, the last time I traveled, I was with Janice and Carly. They were both on our India trip. When shit hit the fan with COVID, literally, we all were walking into the Taj Mahal together. Yeah. We can talk about that a little bit. But yeah, so Carly, where are you right now?
I'm in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay, so you're on our side. You're not that far from where I am in Jersey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How's everything in Hartford going?
It's fine. Yeah. We wear masks here, so you know.
Right. I think that was a shot at Janice. And Adrian is here with us. Adrian, where are you chiming in from? How are you doing?
I am in South Carolina, in outside Charleston. Everything's going well, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting ready to leave here. I've been for 5 months now, pretty much since everything happened. I've been working out here, but I'm getting ready to leave.
Yeah, I can imagine. South Carolina, like I said, I have family down in South Carolina, and when I'm down there, I love it for a little bit, and then I'm like, all right, in and out, in and out. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. Like I said, we have less than an hour now before our survey shuts down, and I'm going to be doing a live read of where we are with it. But I wanted to reach out and kind of let you guys know why these particular people were put on this panel to talk about Nomadness engagement, really, right? So Janice and Carly, the first time I met you two was on our Zanzibar trip in December of 2018. Yeah. This was after us taking almost a year off from doing Nomadness trips. And we came back and relaunched Zanzibar and Johannesburg. Carly, I know you were on both.
Yeah.
And so it was, right. And it was, you guys are a trip. And I mean that in the most loving ways. You guys are a trip for sure.
Right, but Jen, let's drink to that, Jen.
Yes, cheers. Y'all need to cheers it up. I'm so used to this. What you guys don't know watching is I've literally had to yell at Carly at 3:00 in the morning in Zanzibar about stop being a DJ so that everybody else can actually sleep on our compound. Like, you have no idea what we've been through. But what I love about this is I think you two, particularly your friendship, right? It's quintessential. It's like the idea of nomadness and the idea of what happens when we all come together, right? What that looks like, the potential of friendship. And this is the thing. I know this, but like viewers may not know this. It's not just you guys. There's like a whole clique. There's a whole crew of women that I have seen travel together, both on future Nomadness trips and of your own accord. Y'all got your little WhatsApp group stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested in kind of like how that came for you guys. And you started in the trip sphere before anything else. So I think, Janice, what has that experience been like for you?
So again, we all met in Zanzibar. It was my first time meeting Carly and the rest of the ladies. Just myself and Tanisha. Tanisha was the only person that I knew going into the trip. But I think it was just like a group of us that kind of always really hung around the bar, first of all. Yeah. And was either working or just chilling. We instantly kind of like clicked together. I think everybody pretty much did on the trip, but I think it was just that one group of us where everybody just kind of, stuck together, and we did that. And the good thing about that trip was that it wasn't many things to do outside of some of the excursions we went to. So we had really a lot of time to bond. And because of that, we all became close. So that was great. I think it was 6 months later, we all took a trip and went to Puerto Rico because one of us was getting married, not me. And we did that, and it was like literally 11 of us that was on that Zanzibar trip. All went, got this crazy dope house in Puerto Rico, and like had the best time. And to this day, we all kind of keep in touch. We visited each other, on different coasts and what have you, and just kind of keeping that going. And it's kind of like grown for me. I'm like, Carly, I talk to her just about every day, talk to the ladies almost every day as well. And it's just like, we never left the trip.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's interesting when like the intro point is actually something like a trip or a meetup or something like that. So Carly, what was it like for you also being a part of that clique and it being the first time? I literally remember you like being one of the first people on the compound too. Yeah. For some reason, I remember us in the pool having a conversation.
Yeah, I think there were two of us that arrived like 4 a.m, like the sun hadn't risen yet. We got some ride in a van. Like, listen, I had only joined Nomadness maybe 6 months earlier, like within a year, maybe. I read some blog post and she's like, it was something about like making my company's PTO policy my bitch. I was like, I want to join that tribe, whatever tribe that is.
Right.
And I did. And then you were like, we're going to do this trip, but it was a mystery. We didn't know where we were going. I was like, I don't care where they're going. I want to go with these people. And I did. And I remember texting Avita after watching Fire Fraud. And I was like, yo, I'm just so happy that, you were legit, because like, I just like gave you my money and just showed up. I just showed up in Zanzibar, like halfway around the world. Like I was like one of the first people who arrived. The sisters were there, I think the day before. I took like a 6-hour nap and I woke up and there were like 20 people there.
Ready.
You were. Ready as all hell. You bumped in it. And the crazy thing, and the funny thing about Carly too, is that you didn't just jump on it and send the money quick with that, but Carly signed up for every damn trip that we had for like the next. I was like, and the trips sell out fast. So I'm like, how the hell is she getting in here like this?
I got
like
the trigger.
we literally have no control over it. Like when we release the trip, so I'm like, how the hell does Carly keep beating all these people out? Like, they're gonna think it's like rigged, But it's cool, and it's cool always when I see a bunch of you, because like I said, we just got back from India, and in India there were a number of other women. Shatani was there, Kenyatta was there. Like it's just there's a number of women that were a part of that trip as well, and the Joburg leg of that trip as well that were also in India. So it was dope. It was really, really dope.
What happened was everyone flew home. It was like right before Christmas. Everyone flew home. I was sitting in Addis waiting to go to Joburg for a few days, and I think it was Jen that dropped the link when you did the trip drop for India. Jen dropped the link like, yo. And I just happened to be sitting at the bar with Wi-Fi, right? And she's like, which one do we want to do? We're like, holy, sounds dope. And then we all just like logged in and registered immediately. So that's how so many of the people from Zanzibar ended up on the India trip.
Yeah. Right. I love it.
We had so much fun in Zanzibar. We're like, we definitely want to do this a year from now. Like, the trip was far out. Yeah.
And y'all have been talking about it since then. So Adrian is here. And the way that Adrian got looped into this conversation is, unless you run a Facebook group, you may not know this, right? But we have Facebook's back end is pretty cool when it looks at engagement and people that are like really involved, commenting, and it'll give you within like the 30-day period who your like top conversation starters are. And Adrian is one of our top conversation starters in the tribe. So I just want to say thank you for bringing that vibe and bringing that energy into the group. And I'm interested, Adrian, and the question I have for you is, being in the group, first off, have you met anybody in real life yet?
Yes, I have connected with a couple people when I took my first solo Asia trip. I met up with a couple people.
Where were you guys?
I went to Thailand, and I spent a weekend in Thailand with one person from Tribe.
Okay, we'll keep it, because I was about to start naming names and I might be blowing up your side. I'm gonna just hem it up. Because that is another way that Tribe connects. Be sure, okay? I love it. I love it. No, but that's dope. And I think that's important, right? Because the trips are one aspect to it, but the link ups that happen, the fact that we have almost 30 regional ambassadors, like shout out to the ambassadors that we have. I love it. And I can't wait. I know that they can't wait from the meetings that we have and conversations we have for this COVID thing to kind of safely lift up, because they were the liaison. It's like we have these chapters around the world of NOMADNESS, and being able to have the ambassadors really take that on, and be the representative, but also like organize events. They just did a like hiking. They've done hiking stuff in New York recently, and the New Jersey tribe, like field days and things like that. They're trying to socially distance. There's been movie nights, because now there's a bunch of drive-throughs that are starting to pop up or reopen again because of COVID, which I think is like one of the coolest side effects ever. So there's opportunities for this, but it's important for people to be able to connect. Because I always say, for me, it begins and ends with the community. Like that's what I'm about. That's what we're here for. Any meetups? Have you guys gone to any meetups?
I did. I went to one in Boston. It was wine tasting. So I was living in Providence, Rhode Island at the time. So I took the train up, and I met Leslie White and a few other people. We just walked around and drank wine. It's great.
Oh, I take that back. I did go to Taco Gate, the last one.
Yes, Kina. We were trying to get Kina on this, but I was like, it is like 2 a.m. where Kina is right now. I was like, she's not going to be staying up for this. Taco Gate is amazing. For those of you who don't know it, one of our ambassadors, longtime ambassadors and supporters, tribe cheerleader, multiple years over, Kina Williams, who does her own. She does Dubai Blackout. So she has her own trips that she does now. Has this like thing called Taco Gate. And it started off like being this entity that she created in her house. And we used to I remember I showed up, I surprised them one year and showed up. And it was like, I saw the craziest stuff I'll never forget coming out of the bathroom and like must have been playing Truth or Dare and somebody like shrieked. And I'm not gonna say who it was because I fondly remember who it was. like I'm like, what is happening here? But like the whole house was just packed. And that's like a lot of the vibe of Nomadness, right? It's a travel family. It's not just this thing that's stuffy. It's not this thing that is so like corporated out, you know, it really is. It's got some edge to it. It's got some stank on it sometimes, but it's also got fun. And this is the type of energy that we want to like, you know, push forward. So you went to Taco Gate. I've been to Taco Gate as well. Shouts out to Kina. Carly, you were in Boston, which we don't really have many people. Was Leslie at that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
she organized it.
So I was going to say Leslie is one of our admins. So you've seen Leslie's name in Tribe if you are a part of Nomadness a lot. And she was living in Boston and actually recently went back to her home country, which is Bermuda. So nice. She's in Bermuda now. I think that was one of the meetups that she definitely organized before she left. Yeah. So that's dope. Adrian, you said in Asia, any other meetups that you were ever at?
Well, it was just in one-on-one, but also in Bali, I met up with another person in Tribe, hung out for 2 days.
Yeah. That's what's up.
And then I think, so this wasn't an intentional meetup, but when I went on my Antarctica cruise, there were people from Tribe on that cruise as well.
That's dope. Those are the run-ins I love hearing about. People are like, I was in the airport and I was rocking my shirt.
Right.
And then somebody was like, wait, are you Tribe? That's why they always say we need like a secret handshake. They're like, we need a secret handshake. And so many of our flight attendants need, they want pins because they can't rock anything. Like specifically, they have to have their outfit on while they're flying. But they were just like, yo, if we had a pin, that would be super dope because we could wear it. We can rock pins. So we definitely have to get pins in the merchandise. We got to do that. Hand them out to our flight attendants. So I have a question and I'm going to pop myself off of the screen after I ask this because I really want you guys to just like, let me know. And I'm curious. This is the stuff that's like sentimental to me, but also just good intel. My question is, what do you get from Nomadness? Like on any level, it could be personal, it could be professional, because I know we're like low key, like a small business incubator motivation center for a lot of folks, but really is like, what do you get from Nomadness? What brings you back? What brings you in contact with these people? You know, very open-ended. So Janice, I'm going to start with you.
First and foremost is the jokes. I think the group is very funny. I oftentimes spend too much time in Tribe laughing, especially when some of the posts go left. And I know that's probably not the most entertaining thing, but I do actually enjoy it. But I think the most important thing I get from it right now in this stage of my life is information from the expat community. And, you know, how people are doing, how people are navigating that process, some of the places that some people are settling in. You know, and it's given me a lot of information because within the next maybe 2 to 5 years, I think I will be taking that path. So that's probably the biggest thing that I do draw out of the group. I think it's probably where I've gotten most of my information from. So that's it. Yeah, it's pretty much it for me. But that's the biggest one is definitely the expat community because it's huge in Tribe.
It is. It is. These aren't people that just travel. These are people that are like, I'm packing up my shit.
Right.
And I'm getting
and I think a lot
out
of
of
us
here.
feel like that every now and then, you know? So
yeah,
it's good to have a place, a safe space for us to kind of have those conversations.
Yeah. And I love that because it makes me think even of the most recent Audacity Digi that we had on August 1st, expatriation, investing abroad. That was one of the verticals that we had for that one. And the conversations were super powerful. So we also have resources. So when you get to that point, like we have literal people that can help with that. So definitely let us know.
Right.
Carly, what do you get from Nomadness?
I think that I can breathe. It's, you know, to meet people that are, you know, I mean, it's a very diverse group of people, but they're all very much like me in a way. You know, we're all, you know, working, we're all traveling, we're all just, we're serious about whatever it is that we do. And we're Black mostly. And that's hard to find depending on where you're living. You know, I was in Providence, Rhode Island. There weren't many people there. You know, you go into a corporate office every day. You're just like, man, I just kind of want to play spades in Zanzibar. You know what I mean? And when, sometimes you need to be reminded that, yes, like we exist. And, to be able to reach out to someone and just be like, hey, I saw your post in Tribe. We haven't talked, but would you mind like elaborating on this thing? Like, can we talk about this? And they'll say, yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I take from it.
I love it. I love it. Adrienne, how about you?
I want to say support, information, and inspiration. I find that there's so many people, when I first joined the tribe, there were so many people doing things that I didn't even know was possible. Like me as a single woman traveling the world alone, I wouldn't even think that that's something that I could have done when I first joined tribe. And after watching Kina travel through Asia, I was like, wait, I think I want to try this. And I did. I booked a trip to Croatia. And then I turned that Croatian trip into a road trip to Montenegro, Bosnia, Herzegovina. And from there, I've been traveling solo ever since. And
Adrienne,
with
you've been in these streets. How do you like you say you've been in these streets?
Right.
You went from like one spot to a road trip around like a whole section of Europe. How the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I love doing road trips. And when I got to Croatia and they were like, yeah, you can take the car to across the border. I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me see where I can go.
Yeah.
I did. Because I think there was the guy in Tribe that was always talking about Montenegro. I can't remember his name. He passed away a couple years ago from Germany. And his family is from Montenegro.
Yep.
And he was always talking about Montenegro. So I was saying, let me check that out. And I did. And it was beautiful, amazing. And I've been there twice since. So
yeah. I remember his family reached out to us. We helped them with some like back end stuff, and it's interesting because it's those moments where the community comes together. I'm actually going to answer my own question because I think it's important, right? And for me, NOMADNESS has always been about the community. Like I was made an entrepreneur because of this community, and it's always been about people. I was a 3-time expat and was just like gallivanting around the world as well. A lot of our families don't live the life that we live. A lot of our families don't even understand why we feel like we need to be abroad in any capacity, let alone how much we do. Right. And so for me, it was about finding, okay, who is like the family that I have, as we know, #family by choice in Tribe, like who is the family by choice that I can like just let it all out with. I've really felt you on what you said, Carly, about like, I can breathe. Right. I think that that's such a great description of what it feels like. It's like air sometimes, I've had people from the early days of starting NOMADNESS hit me up privately and be like, Avita, like no pun intended, Tribe saved my life, and it's those conversations and, those stories that I know that are so intimate from so many of our members where the community just help lift them up in the right moment. They may not have even known that that's what that person needed in that moment, but they just had folks that they could identify with when the people that are, closest to them were just completely, either against it or just nowhere to be found. And so I think that's the power. The power has always been in the people in the community. I think that's why, I know that that's why I go so hard for Tribe. And I have this saying, I say, I show up when it's pretty and I show up when it's shitty. People will never be able to say that I didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? And that's important to me because I also feel like this community would do the same thing if it was me, and a lot of people don't have safe spaces and they don't have safe havens like that. And it's important that we can do it. And I have genuine fun with y'all. Right. Like, when y'all drive me crazy because you, especially on these fucking trips, even on the trips, even when I'm tired or even when we're like driving crazy, it's just like going through stuff on the trips. It's just like, I genuinely actually enjoy y'all. Like having to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, tired as shit, to tell Carly to get off I didn't even fully put clothes on. I don't know if you remember what I had on, but I took like a wrap that I had on and just like tied it up around my
You
top.
definitely would sleep before that. That was. Sure.
I was like, what is happening?
Like, damn, Carl, you done got us in trouble.
Drinks were on Kim. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Drinks
what
on
is
Kim.
happening? So but it's those things that like literally the next day I can look at it and like bust your balls a little bit about it. But it's like, I didn't take it to heart. I'm just trying to make sure everybody can go to sleep, but those are the memories, right? Like we can sit back and talk about these things now. And I think so many of those opportunities have really been created throughout meetups and throughout trips and just even throughout online and the community. Somebody here commented and Adria said, I'll never forget when the girl was on vacation in LA and the guy committed suicide in the stall next to her and Tribe came through. That situation was bananas. I got on the phone with her immediately. I was like, I know you're blowing up. And it was like the Beverly Hills Mall. It was like some big mall in LA. It made the news. It was crazy. And in the dressing room. And so it's no secret that we come together during fun times, but we also really come together during tragedy. For a number of you have been in the tribe for years, about the Panama accident. And, every January we make sure that it's literally become what we kind of internally dub as like Tribe Holiday. It's a day that we sit back, we, give honor to Nigel and NECA and everybody that also survived the Panama crash. And it's one of those moments where it's like, this is either going to break this community or we're going to rise up and break through every stereotype about our people and our demographic. And we're really going to show up. And it was crazy. I wouldn't wish that situation on my deepest enemy on earth. And I think that's what makes us so special. We show up on both sides of the spectrum. We know how to have fun, but we also know when shit's serious, like it's time for like all of us to collectively come together. It just reminded me of like Kuji Changaliga, cooperative economics, some of the principles of Kwanzaa. We as a community have so many opportunities, and there's been times when people have come together, people have gotten evicted, like with their kids, and we're able to actually be able to help get housing, even in our regional networks, regional tribe groups, because they opened up and were super vulnerable in that moment. And we're just like, you guys, like, I need help. And Tribe is like, what do you need? Like, I could drop off food. We can like help. I've personally donated to people's, life budgets, because it's just like, yo, we got to look out for each other. This is what it's about. And so there's definitely a lot of situations like that. A question that I have for you guys, what would you like to see more of in Tribe? And that doesn't necessarily have to be an answer to anything that's being done wrong, but just like if there's something that you like, that you resonate with, that you would just want to see more of, what would that be? Janice?
I don't really have anything specific. At this point, I just want to go on a trip. I want to get the hell out the house. And I know that's, probably an easy answer, I guess, in these times that we're living in. But I definitely look forward to more trips. I know the more intimate, the better it's able to be executed. And, be able to manage the amount of people that are in it. But I look forward to getting back to that point where we start traveling again.
Yeah, likewise.
I do enjoy it, especially being able to see familiar faces when you do it. So that's even, that's a plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely more of, kind of getting back out there. I hope you guys go hard when the world opens back up.
Yeah.
And then just kind of keep like some of the resources going, so that we have something to pull. I mean, there's a ton of information. There's years of information in Tribe. I think, even searching for some information may prove to be a difficult task for someone. So I think that, maybe finding like maybe an external tool outside of searching within the group that you can get some information from may be good. And, just kind of keep it, being like a welcoming place for new people. I know NOMADNESS is still growing, and there's a lot of new people in there. So just kind of keeping it welcoming and not being like, kind of the old squad versus the new squad and things like that.
Yeah, that's one of my like most irritating things on earth. I'm just like, everybody relax. Everybody sit down. Like everybody relax. It's A-okay. There's dope people on both sides of the spectrum. Like it's all good. It's one of the reasons why I was like, really heartbroken that we weren't able to do like Audacity and the barbecue this year and having to postpone everything, because we were finally getting, it was like, oh, when I saw it and like the signups, I was like, yo, they're merging and this is dope.
Right.
I was like, the forces are, Wakanda is like coming together. Like this is,
Right.
you know, so I'm excited for when that can come back again to the trips for sure. And I love what you said about the size. So one of the things, India was huge because India is just always huge. But that was the last time that we had 45 people on that trip. That and South Africa, Carly, that you were on, were the two biggest trips that we have ever done, ever.
Yeah.
And we normally don't have that many people on trips. We're normally at an average somewhere around like 20. And with that, though, the trips that we had released for this upcoming year for 2021, those were like on average around like 12. So I love that feedback, Janice, because we had already started making that change. So our trips are probably going to be somewhere around like the 12 to 15 range and keeping it like super concise. It's just, it's easier for everybody. Literally on our end facilitating it, and also on you guys. And it is more intimate. Some of the most, we did Turks and Caicos last February. We were there for Valentine's Day. And we did a workshop with Alex Merritt and the tribe, the Love Engineer. And we talked about relationships, and it was extremely vulnerable and everybody was open. And there was only like 10 people on that trip. But because it was that succinct, like the tears that were shed, the conversations that were had, it was one of my favorite trips because of how deep we went. And you guys know me, I love building out community, but I also love the intimacy of like smaller spaces in which we're able to really get to know one another, you know? And so for me, that's important. So I love that feedback, as well as an organizational tool that can help people search. I think us knowing with the growth of it, hashtags and things of that nature, that's definitely something that can be implemented. So I appreciate that feedback as well. Carly, what would you like to see more of?
You know, as soon as you asked that question, I had a cheeky answer, and I'm going to share it. So I would like to see more men. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know if that's going to drive some ladies away or what, but that was my cheeky answer.
Yeah.
That doesn't really bother me that much, but it was the first thing that popped in my mind. I think that clearly I love the trips. I think what Jen was saying was interesting about the like the large trips, the small trips, like the connecting. I mean, I've been on the big trips, the Joburg and the India trip, but then I've been on Banff, which was maybe 8 people.
Yeah.
That was dope. And Zanzibar was maybe 20, 25 people. I think I like the smaller groups. The bigger groups are cool, but you end up only like we're split between hotels.
You spend a lot of time,
like that's like right in your hotel or something. I think that connecting more in real life is I would like to see more of, which is hard to do when it's like it's almost like I'm saying contradictory things, right? Like, can we get smaller groups, but then can we meet can more people meet in real life more often? Like, that's how do you even do that, right? But even like I think people should really check out the regional groups, you know, like the Boston Tribe. You know, they did like, they would go and do, there's some Black trivia thing at some bar in Boston they would go to, did this wine tasting, you know, they'll get together for different things. I think that was really cool. You get to meet people who are close to you, and then they move away. And then, like, I hit up Leslie, you know, I'm like, hey, how's Bermuda doing? Like, this headhunter called me about a job in Bermuda, right? And now you can do that because you've actually met this person, you know, in real life, as opposed to just like some moderator of some Facebook group you're in.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I think it's a great energy that that NOMADNESS has, and I think in person it's even better.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Carol Mailer just left a comment. She said, I look forward to my first trip with the tribe, a small group, yes, for me, and perhaps themed trips. So Carol, I don't know how long you've been in the tribe, but there's usually a theme, not in like, you know, theme like kitschy, but an energy, of vibe. So we have like Zen in Zanzibar, Freedom in Johannesburg. It was
Chill and Banff.
Chill and Banff, right? So there is kind of like this vibe energy, and we really like, you know, try to have the itinerary fall within that realm. and build out according to it. So I love that feedback, Carol. We definitely got to get you on one of the trips. And Sabrina, one of our amazing members out in LA, she was just like, yeah, the regional meetups. I think that that's so key. And this has got me hype because we're going to bring the RV tour back. So I don't know how long all of you have been in Tribe, but we did a cross-country RV tour back in 2013. And for 3.5 weeks, we drove from New York to LA and gave presentations at different HBCUs. We specifically targeted HBCUs. And it was all about travel and diversity, but it was dope. And what we did is we had a roll call in Tribe. We had a casting call where people actually had to get casted. They had to send in tapes and tell us what their role. It was like fucking Real World. I don't know who we thought were. So like, they had to send in their casting tapes, but in the tape they had to answer what would you do? Like, what would you contribute to the RV? Because we were picking people up and dropping people off along our route. Only 2 people, myself and one other person, Jason, only were on it for the whole time. But everybody had to have a job. You couldn't just ride out on it. So Harris was like our chef. We had Siobhan Harrison, who was like our documentary photographer, and she was doing like assets and media, right? We had Keisha Dutz, who was on it too, who was like, she's a host, right? So everybody had like their own role on the RV tour. And it was dope. And it was crazy to like be dropping people off and picking people up. And we had meetups that were organized in the major cities. So like we had a meetup in Delaware, we had a meetup in DMV. We actually ended up in New Orleans during Jazz Fest. So we stayed in New Orleans for a couple days. We ended up in Vegas during a freaking Mayweather fight. Like it was the shit that happened. Listen, Adrian, I feel you.
I'm ready for that.
People who you were with in Asia. Because shit that went down in Vegas. Like, we'll stay in Vegas forever. Okay. And then we ended up in LA. The last day of the tour ended up being Cinco de Mayo in LA, which was just, we just like serendipitously started to like hit all these places, and it was absolutely amazing. So we're actually on the back end. We're already talking with like some companies that we think could get on board, like RV companies, boards of tourism regionally, because we want to bring that back. And looking at the impact that COVID has had, it's like, road tripping is like the shit, you know, like that's going to be the focus for an extended period of time. And I have a feeling personally that we're going to end up with a caravan. I was I feel like it's going to be like the main RV, but like we're going to end up with a caravan for real.
I've already got mine.
It's going to be like themed caravan. It's going to be like the Soca van. It's going to be like the culinary van. It's going to be.
There's going to be a whole bunch of people on there. I love this. Carol said No Madness is a Netflix series. Yes, and tell Netflix, because I am also pitching shows. So there's that right now. Something else I've been focusing on. Kim said, is there some kind of RV video compilation reel? Sounds like a good reality show. Actually, if you go on our YouTube channel, a lot of people don't know this, the old episodes of the RV tour are actually on No Madness Tribe's YouTube channel.
Nice.
Okay.
Including our detour to Roswell, New Mexico, UFO town, where we like took over this like UFO like alien museum. It's actually kind of embarrassing. And I shouldn't even be talking this shit, but y'all can go live your best life. But yes, it's on if you go to our YouTube channel, it's No Madness Tribe on YouTube, you'll see it. Adrian, I want to give you a chance to answer the question. What would you like to see more of in No Madness?
So I have 2 answers. One, I would love to see us as a group start investing in something tangible. And then the second part, I would love to see more travel stories. Like I love hearing people travel stories, and I would love more of it. Like really.
That's dope. That's dope. No, those are amazing. So the property, so I know you're talking about something tangible. So I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on the property situation. If you were in Tribe in like 2017, it's actually the project I was working on during my TED residency. It was all about a future, not iteration of No Madness, but a future arm of No Madness that is about property investment. This is why it was so integral that we spoke about it at the last Audacity Digi. And we're actually going to be working with and partnering with one of the speakers that we had there, Janelle Muhammad, who owns Destination Own. She's literally a consultant on getting property abroad. And so what we were doing during 2017 is I was going back and forth working on the project for property acquisition, both as individuals and as groups, people that were interested in owning, renting, different aspects. And essentially what we wanted to do is become the funnel, right? I wanted to partner with a real estate agency. And when people go to South Africa on our trips, for the most part, I know Carly, you were a little bit different with this one, which I appreciate too. A lot of people love this like neighborhood that we stay in Johannesburg, South Africa, the Maboneng precinct. And there's a lot of like industrial building up there. So every single trip that we've had there, I always have multiple people come up to me like, okay, how can I move here? Right. I myself want an apartment there and looked into investing. And I know that ultimately like my move towards the latter part of my life is actually going to be to South Africa. So with that, we had a really good relationship for years of doing trips there with the company that was building up all this stuff called Propertuity. And literally months after we initiated conversations and we're starting to build out our funnel system for property acquisition through NOMADNESS members, the company liquidated and they fired the CEO. They ousted the CEO. And it was like, it went from like, why are my emails not being called, to the next time I went back to South Africa, I was like, oh my God, like had no idea all this stuff was happening. So we were in the throes of that and then kind of got gutted. So now with us talking, particularly this year, we're looking at, okay, who can our partners be? And also where are the places that Tribe are really, really interested in to be able to invest. So I love your thought process with that. It's something that I've been thinking about and even working in different capacities towards for years. And I think if we came together, we could do something super powerful.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. All right. So we're going to wind down here. I'm not going to hold these ladies too much longer. So I am going to go into our back end and I'm going to see what our surveys look like. We are like 15 minutes away from the survey actually shutting down. So I'm going to go in here real quick. Like I said, I haven't checked this in a number of hours. So we'll see. You guys know that we were looking at getting 5,000 surveys, and that's what we were leaning for. And I would like to announce, and I ain't got no more wine.
Don't worry, Vita. I'll pour you some.
I drank it all. You guys have to go for me. Okay, so I am back here, and you guys, we have 5,266 surveys done. Now, I am so proud of this. Okay,
That's hard to do.
It is. Dude, people see like, oh, you have a community of 25,000. It's easy. I'm like, this is like one of the hardest things to get people to sit down and fill out, let alone a 15-minute survey. Like, It's just like, what are you talking about? And the numbers, like the only research that's out, their numbers, like the first time that they released their report about like African-American travel behaviors, they only did it with 1,100 people. And then the second time they did it was with 1,700 people. And those are the numbers that like everybody runs with. And that's why we were like, yo, wait, hold up. Like, you mean to tell me that we can definitely get like way more than that. We hit 1,100 within our first 24 hours, So we were like, let's see. And 5,000 was just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, people don't realize data's hard. And I know you guys don't know this, but Carly is a mathematician. This is her joint. So
that's all I could think was statistically.
Yeah, right, exactly. Statistically speaking, this shit was difficult. Okay, so we're at 5,266. You guys, I absolutely love you all. Thank you so much for coming through. To our ladies that were on here tonight, thank you for bringing in, I feel like it's like New Year's, like some ball should drop or something, and for giving us your time and your insight, and thank you for being a part of NOMADNESS. Like, real talk, from online to offline, the communities, the trips, you guys are absolutely amazing, and it is an honor and a privilege to be able to facilitate you guys and kind of just be like the vessel that helps this thing ride out. So I mean that. Thank you so much. And everybody watching, you guys are dope. I'm so happy. It closes down in 15 minutes. We have overshot by almost 300 the goal that we were looking at. Y'all been on it today. I swear y'all wait till last minute to do shit. Y'all be having me stressed. Carly's like, I did it right before we went live.
I did it today. Yeah.
What was so crazy is we were on my team meeting this week, and we like the team. We were just like, shit. Did we take the survey? We're like, we've been building this damn thing out for so long. Did we even take it? What is happening? Like, you just never know. Never know. All right, my loves, everybody, please be safe wherever you are in the world, wherever you're going. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Be well and be safe. And hopefully I'll see you sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Hopefully. Thank you.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.